Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jack, and today we're going to be reviewing the Salomon Genesis. This is a super versatile trail shoe, and in my opinion, it is one of the best value shoes that money can buy. So what makes the Salomon so good? Let me just break down the shoe quickly before I get into why I think this is the best bang for buck trail shoe that's on the market right now. So the Salomon Genesis comes in at about 269 grams in a UK men's size 9. It runs off an 8mm drop and has a 4.5mm lug pattern on the bottom with a full covering of Salomon's Contra Grip. So the heel cup is relatively pliable and it offers a decent level of cushioning while not being too plush. In my opinion, it's just right. The upper is made primarily of this matrix material, which is a Kevlar weave, and it's just ridiculously durable. I mean, I've taken this shoe through some pretty testing conditions, and there's absolutely no faults with it at all. I can imagine that the upper is going to way outlast the outsole and midsole on this shoe. The tongue is lightly cushioned, and again, it's made of like this perforated foam material, which just helps with shedding water. The lacing system is Salomon's famous quick lacing system, and the tongue features a little garage where you can stow your laces. This quick lacing system is one of the best ways to lock down a shoe that I've ever tested. You slip on the shoe and cinch up the laces, and they just don't go anywhere for the entire run. You've got a solid lockdown and your foot stays exactly where you want it to in the shoe. Let's talk about the midsole. The midsole is made out of a TPU chassis, which houses Salomon's Energy Flow foam. The chassis extends up to the ankle collar either side with these sort of wing-like structures, which, to be honest, I thought was a bit of a gimmick when I first tried the shoe, but they're very unobtrusive when you're running on flat or moderate terrain. Where you can really feel them is when you're descending technical terrain. The wings just keep your foot locked in, and you get very little lateral movement, making it just a really confidence-inspiring shoe, especially on technical downhill running. The foam itself underfoot is pretty soft. I wouldn't say it's the softest foam that I've ever run in, but it's just a really comfortable, versatile foam. It feels really good on long runs and stable enough to take it on technical runs. But it also is quite good at picking up the pace as well, just because it's got such a lovely rocker. I've taken this shoe on a huge array of runs, from really short tempo efforts, 10K races, to much longer marathon distance runs. So the outsole was an area that I was a little concerned about when I first bought the shoe. So the 4.5mm lugs do feel quite shallow, especially here if you're living in the UK and you're running in sloppy, muddy conditions. I thought maybe they're not going to be good enough, and I prefer 5mm lugs or 6mm lugs. But I've actually found it to be pretty fantastic in all conditions. The rubber is incredibly tacky, so if you're running on like wet rock, or if you're doing a bit of road to trail running and you're running on tarmac or anything that's wet and greasy, it sticks so well. And the actual pattern itself, if you're running on mud, it's almost like a vacuum. You land and you can feel yourself sticking. It's just really, really confidence inspiring, and I think it's probably one of the better outsoles that I've ever run in, to be honest. So overall, I think the Genesis is a fantastic option for pretty much anyone. There is one slight caveat I need to mention. If you have a wide foot, I don't think this is going to be the shoe for you. I've got a very normal sized foot and it fits really nicely. Salomon's in general are like a classic Euro fit. They're really snug, very structured and very supportive. So it's almost like a racing sock. You just feel completely locked in. But if you do have a wider foot, there's not much give, especially in this matrix upper. It's not a stretchy material at all. So if you've got a wider foot, I think you might be better off in something else. If you're a normal foot to narrow foot, then this shoe's going to be absolutely perfect for you. And I went true to size, and it fit. Yeah, the fit's been incredible. I wouldn't change anything about it, to be honest. So what sort of running have I been doing in this shoe? I've used and abused this shoe. It's been on so many different types of runs, from out the front door, along the road, and up into the mountains. It's done easy gravel tracks, it's done serious mountain running. It's just been so versatile. I can't remember a shoe where it's been so good at so many different things. There'll obviously be shoes that are better at technical running, there'll be shoes that are better at speed work, there'll be shoes that you'd want to race in, but I think this does just a fantastic job at everything. I'd be happy to race a marathon or 50k in this. I did race a 10k in it, and it was perfect, but maybe you'd want something a little bit lighter. Really not much that I don't like about this shoe, to be honest. So let's talk about value. While £150 isn't cheap, I do think this might be the best value shoe that you can buy right now. You get so much for your money. This Matrix upper is typically only available on shoes like that are £30–40 more expensive. It's going to last you an incredibly long time. The Contra Grip outsole, the Contra Grip, I've had it before, it just lasts forever. It's so good. So I think one, is going to last you a long time, but also I think you're going to be able to use it for such a wide variety of runs. You could happily use this shoe every day of the week if you want to do. If you're someone that racks up a lot of miles on the trails and you're running over a variety of terrain, then I think this would be an amazing tool to have in your arsenal. You could have a specific race shoe and then just do all your training in this shoe, and I think it would be, I think it'd be perfect for that. So let's talk about some shoes that I think the Genesis is competing against in the sort of £150 range. Shoes that I've been running in recently are the Agility Peak by Merrell, the Saucony in Exodus Ultra, and also the Hoka Mafate Speed 4. And I think that the Salomon does a much better job at being a versatile daily shoe than any of those ones that I've mentioned. The Merrell is a really good ultra marathon shoe. If you're going to be running like a technical ultra, then the Merrell is a really good option. I don't find it to be particularly good if you're doing easy sort of flat running, or if you're not running on a particularly technical terrain. The outsole on the Merrell is super aggressive and it's just not as smooth. So if you're looking for a shoe that's going to be really well suited to a technical muddy ultra, then the Merrell Agility Peak could be a great option. In terms of durability, I found the Merrell really broke down very quickly. So if you're after something a bit more robust, I think this will last you a lot longer. I actually had to send my pair of Merrells back because they just fell apart after about 130 miles. Again, there was similar issues with the Hoka. The Mafate Speed 4 was a fantastic shoe. Like out the box for the first 200 miles, it was unbelievable. But the Vibram outsole that they had on that shoe, I just found it broke down and it just didn't last. I was basically running on it with no tread. The foam, incredible. The upper, incredible. I just wish it was a bit more resilient. So the Saucony Exodus Ultra, I think, is going to be the closest competitor for this shoe. They both have similar levels of comfort. I think the upper on the Genesis is better. It's more refined. It's just a much more performance-orientated fit. If you like a more accommodating fit, then maybe the Saucony would be better for you. The big issue I had with the Exodus Ultra was the grip. The Paratrack grip by Saucony, it's their own brand, but I just don't think it's suited to running in the UK. Anything other than sort of semi-dry mud, it really struggles with, especially if you're running on wet rock. It's just like lethal for that sort of running. Yeah, so I think the Genesis really is hands down my favourite everyday do-it-all Swiss Army knife shoe. And if you're going to just be investing your money into one trail shoe that can do everything, this would be a fantastic option for you.